Congressman Jason Chaffetz, thank you so much for joining us this morning, letting us get to know you a little bit. It's amazing to me how many lawmakers on Capitol Hill have a sports background. So I want to start there. You were a place kicker at BYU. Yeah. You set a point record. Do you still hold it?
Yeah, I had 5 records. I'm down to 2 now, but I wasn't exactly an athlete, Candy. I was a place kicker. There's a huge difference. I was the guy that just, they touch me, they throw a flag.
Oh, but nonetheless, you were out there and you were pretty good at kicking.
Yeah, it's an amazing way to go through. I played soccer my whole life. Mm-hmm. And then when I got time to go to college, it was a great way to have my education paid for, a great and amazing experience. And we never lost a game by the margin when I missed kicks. Otherwise, I wouldn't be living in Utah right now.
Yes, they take their football very seriously
yes,
there as
you
well
do.
as other
Yes,
places.
you do.
I also read that your godfather is Sandy Koufax,
well,
legendary
there was,
baseball
in a very
figure.
loose, not a strict way. My father, growing up, went to Penn State and then found himself in California and ended up being very good friends with Sandy Koufax early in their life. My dad passed away last year, but my baby pictures and things. When I was born, Sandy wrote me a little check for $25. My mom was smart enough to cash the check. But then keep it, yes. So,
oh, good.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in 30+ years.
Wow.
But yeah, neat part of my parents' life.
Sure,
early on.
and he's like a baseball icon. So
yeah,
that's pretty nifty. And so let me switch to politics because this also amazed me. You once worked for Michael Dukakis, a Democrat.
Well, the other interesting thing about my father was back in the 1950s, he was actually married to a person named Kitty. And they had a son named John, and the best thing that ever happened to me is they got divorced because Kitty married Michael Dukakis, and my dad married my mother. So I'm not related to Michael or Kitty, but I do have a half-brother who's John Chaffetz Dukakis, and he lives in Boston, and we're very close. We talked to him yesterday, and Michael is actually very helpful to me. As polar opposite as we are politically, I think he appreciates and wants good people involved in politics, and was rooting me on to run for Congress.
Wow, did you get any sort of bipartisan lessons out of that relationship that apply to Capitol Hill at any point?
Well, it was funny, when I first showed up in Congress after the 2008 election, the Massachusetts delegation in particular, came with their hands out, and here I was, a freshman, very conservative.
A Republican from Utah, and the Massachusetts delegation, as we all know, is pretty democratic.
People were really sticking their hands out. My colleagues were looking at me like, hey, Chaffetz, you're the rookie here. You've been here like 1 day. What's up with you and the guys from Massachusetts? But everybody's been real good. And I think it's also a good lesson that, hey, look, these are very real people. We disagree politically, but we shouldn't be disagreeable. And it really did help me get off to a good start.
Yeah. And when you first came to Congress, you slept on Capitol Hill, didn't rent an apartment?
I still do a little bit, yeah.
Do you? So you still don't have a place in Washington
when my wife
stay?
comes to town, and there's a political event, then we'll get a hotel. But
you don't require her to stay in your office. Good for you.
Have a
on
cot.
a blow-up bed, right?
Cot. So yeah, it works for me. It doesn't work for everybody, but.
Wow. So you still do that?
Oh yeah.
And so what's it like at, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night when everyone else is gone?
You get to know the cleaning crew, and they know you're there, and there's a house gym that you go to. There are quite a number of people who actually do it, but yeah, it's a little bit different experience, and that's the hardest part of this experience. It's just being away from the family. I got a wife, 3 kids, and I miss them dearly, and you're away so much. That's the hardest part of what I do.
Yeah. And finally, you're kind of a techie. Bit of a techie, a gadget guy. What's your favorite gadget that you'd recommend somebody run out and buy?
Well, I've kind of all-consuming with Apple right now. Google's got some amazing things. If there's a new app out, I try it. I love it. I'm a big Uber fan. Uber, in terms of getting around.
Isn't it great?
Yes.
I agree with you.
Big Uber fan.
Yeah.
Even the Five Guys app for where's your closest Five Guys burgers and fries.
And you're a junk food guy too.
Well, some people call it junk food. I call it a bacon cheeseburger, but yeah.
So, listen, thank you so much for stopping by and letting us get to know you a little. I appreciate it.
Thank you.